Welcome to an unexpected episode where I fix one of my recent builds. In a fairly recent video, I built up my wife's vintage gaming PC, and yes, there is at least some debate on whether or not this actually is vintage, but for our purposes, we're focusing on early 2000s video games. And when I originally tried to build this PC, I used this, which was an Athlon X2 system, an Athlon 64 X2. Unfortunately, it has some unexpected, strange behavior where it just randomly turns off all the time. So we ended up going with, well, I don't really remember what all was in this system, but I remember the CPU, I believe, was an AMD A10, or maybe an A8. Doesn't really matter. But it's not what I wanted. I can't use this cooler on it. It's a very ugly motherboard. It's just not what I wanted. And in that video, I asked people, what do you think I should do with it? Should I go on AliExpress and get a motherboard? Should I go on eBay? Should I leave it as it is? What should I do? And it seems overwhelmingly, new motherboard was the choice. This just arrived today. I've cut the tape on it, but I haven't opened it yet. So let's see what has arrived in the mail. Alrighty. There we go. Okay, I wasn't expecting an I/O plate or a SATA cable. Okay. Get this box out of here. Nothing else in there. Now, it should be an ASUS motherboard. Okay, ASRock is what I received. Interesting. But not the end of the world. They were a perfectly fine company. Got a plastic protector over there of a type I have never seen. Interesting. Let's go ahead and pop that open and get a look at the socket. I don't see any bent pins. Interesting. I think this is, well, it says Foxconn on it, so this is probably a standard thing. It's just weird that it's clear. Yeah, I think this will work. Obviously, we need a BIOS battery for this thing. Get this opened up. And I can pop that in its spot. And this is going to be a very curious video indeed, because this is a used motherboard. This is a fairly old, and to some people at least, vintage motherboard. So, is AliExpress a good source for these old motherboards? Let's find out. First, we need a CPU. Now I've got just the thing for this system. Since it's a G41 system, it should natively support pretty much all Core 2 Duos. Now this is a Core 2 Duo 4400. It's nothing super special. Looks like it's 2 gigahertz, 2 megs of cache, 800 megahertz front side bus. But I also have, if I can dig it out, Core 2 Quad Q6600 and an E8400, and I want to use the E8400. And I just realized I didn't check the CPU support on this, so I'll be right back. Even better than I expected. This thing supports pretty much all of the Core 2 series, which means that the E8400 should work just fine. Now it lists since any BIOS, so I should have no issues whatsoever throwing this in as long as there's nothing on the bottom of the CPU. There is. Let me clean that real quick. That should be good. Okay. Go ahead and get this in there. I want to be careful. Because I want this to work on the first try. Now here's another unique thing about this motherboard. It supports DDR3. And I believe it supports up to 8 gigabytes of DDR3. So let me go ahead, grab a couple of sticks of that, and if we are lucky, it'll just work. But of course, if it doesn't work, it should be just fine with DDR2. So what we want to do right now is just kind of test it to make sure that it is functioning. So what we're going to go ahead and do is grab a single 512 megabyte stick of DDR2, which we know will work. Pop that into the first channel here, the first slot. Now I'm going to put a little dollop thermal paste there, and just as a stopgap, just so we can fire it up, we're going to go ahead and use this non-correct cooler just kind of sat down on top of it. Now I need a power supply, which is sitting around here somewhere. There it is. Oh, there we go. And I also need to hook this up to my monitor just to see if it works. Moving stuff out of the way here. Okay, let's go ahead and change the camera angle. Okay, go ahead and get this monitor plugged in. Helps if you have it right side up. Now we get this ancient power supply hooked up. Yeah, that's in great shape. And the CPU 4-pin. Here we go. Oh, back here. Now we just need a power cable. And I need a way to turn it on. So let's see here. Where is the front panel? Power button. Okay. Right here. Survey says the CPU works, the RAM seems to work, we're fired up. Okay. Now, let's try it with DDR3. This is a 4 gigabyte stick of PC3 10600U. Looks like the ranking is 2 rank by 8. This may not work because of that 2 rank by 8. Or if it does work, it may only work with single channel. So let's see what we got here. Survey says no. No, that does not work. But that's okay. because I have some DDR2 sitting right here that I actually would like to use in a build. Some nice G-Skill RAM. So let's go ahead and get this DDR3 out of here. DDR2. We'll try one stick for now, get the peels off there. I have yet to find a system that this RAM works in, so having it work here would be most excellent. Survey says yes. Okay. Now that's one stick. Let me get the peel off of this other one. Both sides. Some good looking RAM, honestly. Especially for the DDR2 era. I got that wrong? I did. Now, of course, I have a personal favorite for the OCZ Platinum series. Can we get dual channel to work? Survey says that looks like a no. Correct. This could also be a memory ranking issue, so let me see what else I've got. Alright, got a few options set aside here. First, let's try some 2 gig sticks of 2 rank by 8 PC3. Try 1 at first, and then we'll try 2 if it works, but I don't think it will. I think it's going to have trouble with that ranking. Only one way to find out, though. I don't think this one's going to work. Yeah, nope. No worries, though. Let's go ahead and try, after I set this aside, because we know it won't work, this other stuff that doesn't list its ranking. It's, well, that's only a 1 gig stick. I don't want to use that. Let's try this 256 meg by 64. This stuff seems to work in a lot of systems. Will it work in this one? Not looking like it. Nope. Not looking good there. Nope. That's a no. Okay. That's a no. 1 rank by 8, 2 gigs of PC3, 12800U. This one, only being 1 rank by 8, has a higher chance of functioning at least. So let's see. What do we got? There we go. Hey. Okay, that one works. This is another unknown 2 gigs, 1333. I'd like some good looking RAM for this system, but yeah, let me see what I can find for that. I've got this Ripjaw set. They are doesn't tell me the rank, but it is DDR3 1600. So I don't know about this. It'd be nice if they worked. Honestly, I'm just glad that the AliExpress motherboard itself works, because I only paid like $25 for this. That's really good for this motherboard. Survey says no, it's probably 2 rank by 8. It was a really common ranking, which sucks because Intel really didn't like it, like at all. Even well through the DDR3 era, just didn't. Try this Patriot stuff, but it's only 1 gig each. It is good looking RAM though. If I can even get it in the slot, Jesus. I just want to know if it works. I don't have a lot of fancy RAM is my problem. Survey says no. Let me look through my DDR2. Okay, I've got a lot of very fancy options, but I'm looking for 2 gig sticks. And that I don't have a lot of. This could be difficult. There's a 2 gig. Also a 2 gig. My NVIDIA SLI RAM is 2 gig, but I don't want to waste that here. We're not doing SLI anyway, so let's see. That's 2 gig. That's 1. Speaking of the double, here's some OCZ Gold series. That's a 2 gig stick, but I don't think I do have a matching. Oh, that would be nice to use. Very fancy. Got a couple of 1 gig Patriots. No. Yes. 2 gig. 1 gig. 1. 2 gig. Don't want to use low profile. I think that these advanced ones are 1 gig. They don't say though. Here's the other NVIDIA SLI. And here's some OCZ Reaper series, but they're only 1 gig each. So I think we've got our options on the table already. And honestly, I think we're going to try that Gold series first. I don't even know if this stuff works. Be nice if it did. If this functions. What the heck? Hold on a second. No! How did that happen? We're missing a pin. How did that happen? Oh, man. This is my favorite RAM. Huh. That is extremely disappointing. Let's try this HyperX stuff. That missing pin would have probably still would have worked depending on which pin it was. But the system probably would have been extremely unstable. Well, this RAM works. Does it work in dual channel? We have a winner. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put that cooler on. Okay. We'll go ahead and get this fan off of here. That should, with this nice little be quiet screwdriver, give me the option to do this. Come here. One. Now, I usually do these in a crisscross pattern, but a little less concerned about it today for some reason. Oh, the new motherboard has an LPT header. Not that we'll ever use it. That's basically for an external printer port. Nope. No, you don't. Okay, one more. Okay, so now we need to wipe this off and configure it for Intel. We'll go ahead and get these taken off. Couldn't be any longer, could they? Not that I'm complaining, it is a very solid retention mechanism. It's just very tedious to work with. That's all. Last one. And we don't want to lose these plastic washers either. That's what prevents damage to the board. See what it's for. Remove that. There's the 4 plastic washers. Oh, I've already got thermal paste on myself. I need to clean this CPU off. I've got a rag around here somewhere. Not that I have any idea where. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. Just kind of get that cleaned off. Just enough to be touched. And the same goes for the bottom of this. Good enough. So, what we need to do is get the box that this came in. Oh, everything's falling. Nope. Nope. Is this the right? Yeah. So that's the bracket we need. The rest of this is trash. Pretty sure that's trash. And yeah, nothing all that different about it. Just a different shape. So there's one. We need to save these screws. And 2, Now these ones, I believe this has, uh-oh, hold on. No, this doesn't work with socket 775. Oh, no. I don't know anything about this cooler. Does this one work with 775? It does not. Okay. I need to find a cooler. I'll be right back. Well, I found this. I seem to recall having some mounting pressure issues with this. But it only uses push pins, so let's see if it works. I'm going to put another little smaller dollop on there. And I guess make sure that this is set correctly. One, two, three, four. No? Actually, it's fine. So, okay, I guess. I'm going to curl this around. Try and shorten it a bit. No, that's too short. Right. Guess we'll just do this then. This will go there. Okay. More or less cable managed. Okay. Well, I think we're ready to install it, aren't we? It kind of sucks to undo all my work, but at this point, I just want her to have a good PC, regardless of whatever work it takes. So, let's go on forever. Try not to lose the rest. There goes another one. Okay, I've got to find those now. Oh. Okay, yeah. Shouldn't be too bad, honestly. I hope. Yeah, let me get this other panel off without losing these thumb screws. Okay. The 24 pin. 4 pin. The only real downside is since the 24 pin and 4 pin are on the top of the board, they will somewhat interfere with the cold cathode here. Maybe I can keep manage them towards the back of the case. We'll see. Get this. I've got to unscrew it first, don't I? Yes. Okay. Now we can remove it. Just kind of let it hang out up there for a hot minute. We're just gonna get that out of there for now. You know what? Maybe I should just move this to prevent disaster. And now we can remove the motherboard. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you know, we could use our blue LED fan if we really wanted to, now that I'm not using an HP motherboard that checks it. 1 more. Yeah. Okay. Get out of here. Oh, wait. I/O plate. It wasn't sealed on one end. That is hilarious. Okay. Also, I couldn't help but notice, this is not the correct I/O shield. They've just kind of, that is sharp. They cut this open. Does this even... That's funny. That's really funny. I don't like that. I wonder if I have an I/O plate that will fit this. Let me have a quick look through my collection. Oh dear. Well, I have an entire box of these somewhere, and I genuinely cannot find them. So, I think we're just going to use what we've been provided. Don't like it. Don't like this at all. So, but either, ouch. Either I can find my box later, or I can order one online. You can get in there. You can get I/O plates, I/O shields pretty easily online. But that is one tick against AliExpress motherboards. So I guess you're not guaranteed to get the original I/O plate. So let's see. Yeah, that is a terrible fitment. But what can you do? Let's go ahead and get all this buttoned down. I don't like this cooler. I don't like it at all. There's a good gap in between the fan and the actual cooler itself, which to me seems like a place for air to escape and not go through the cooling fins. But I'm not a cooler designer, so it probably doesn't matter. It's only an E8400. We're not like cooling an i9. So, and we have this fan here as an exhaust right behind the tower cooler. So it probably won't matter anyway. A couple more of these and we'll be good to go. Oh. 1 and 2. Okay. So let's see what I can do about this wire situation. There's the 4-pin plugged in. We can tuck that off to the side here. For the most part, maybe I can tuck this other one underneath the cooler. Yeah. In fact, maybe I can zoom you in to see what I'm doing. Okay. Got this one done. The 24-pin, maybe I can stretch over here. Yeah, that should work. Plugged in. Now, let's get this rear fan plugged in. Oh dear. Yeah, that's a stretch. I need to move that. Where did I put that blue fan? There it is. So since I have to move this one anyway, in order to get the wire to reach, let's go ahead and just take it out and put the blue one back in so it matches the cold cathodes. Okay, take that out so I don't lose it. Side panels fell over. Don't want to break those. Okay, we'll put this one in there. Yeah, if I can line it up, that is. Just loosely in for now is fine. Number 2. I have to avoid stepping on those panels. That's the second time I've done that. Number 3. Now I can tighten these up because number 4 is pretty much guaranteed to line up. Watch, now it doesn't. No, we're fine. And number 4. Okay, get this fan out of here. Get this one plugged into the chassis fan number 1. It'd be nice if they had a fan header on the back of the board, but it does not appear that they do. We're just gonna run this along here. Now we can get our graphics card installed, mostly because it does not look like it will interfere. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. There is one thing it'll interfere with. The HD audio connector needs to be done right now, because the graphics card will fit down over the HD audio connector. Okay. That is in. Getting pretty close to firing this thing up. I actually quite like this board. So far, everything has been super easy to get to. The SATA connectors are in a very intelligent place. And by that I mean they're here on the edge of the board, as opposed to like underneath the graphics card on seemingly every other motherboard that I've tried to use for this. So let's get the... Can you still see? No, you can't. Not easily. Good enough. So let's get this graphics card done. We'll get the SSD done. Jesus, get in there. Okay. USB. We'll put that one first. Then the other USB. That's both front USBs. Now just the front panel. Actually, let's run these up here so they don't get in the way of the cold cathode. Yeah, it's slightly uglier from a cable management position, but again, don't want them in front of the cold cathode. So let's get this front panel hooked up. I'm going to need a little better view myself, so pardon me if I don't record this part. Well, it's put together. Let's see how well this works real quick. I am going to have to reinstall Windows. XP is not a big fan of massive hardware changes, and we're not only changing like a graphics card or something, but we're going to a completely different platform. So this is just to verify that the graphics card is happy. I need that. I'm stepping on popcorn kernels, and I'm pretty upset by it. And the thing is, I know that the person who did this watches these videos, so clean up your damn popcorn kernels. Okay, now we need power. And hey, not bad. Do we still get video? We're going to let Windows XP attempt to start, but it's not going to work. Yep, I knew it. Okay. That is completely expected. So we can get this to turn off now. Okay. Nope. Stay off. Not bad. So I need to reinstall XP real quick. I'm going to do that off camera. I've shown XP being installed 1,000 times in this channel. So, yeah. I'll be back once we're on the desktop ready to run a Snappy Driver installer. In fact, I think I might poke around for some other cards to install. Yeah, well, let's just get XP installed. So I was actually looking into why some of my bubble bulbs weren't bubbling, and found this one, which actually looks like it has a crack in it. It's a little low on the liquid. And then, well, this one doesn't work at all, but I found that the actual bubbler part has like goo in the bottom, so that probably prevented this one from bubbling. So yeah, weird. Anyway, I'm gonna get XP installed. Got this one, got the cracked one out somehow without shattering it. I can feel the crack. That's really bad. So yeah, I'm trying to put this one in here. It's got the goo on the bottom, but maybe it'll work. So we're gonna let that heat up and see if it starts bubbling. Gotta get some more bubbler bulbs. These things they're from like the 40s, I think. They're old. Look, it's bubbling while I'm holding it. What? What is causing that? What the heck? It's not leaking. Can someone explain this to me? Seriously. I'm pretty sure that these are filled with like alcohol, which have a really low boiling point, but it's not touch with your fingers low boiling point. What the hell is going on with this? Oh, wait a minute. My eyesight's pretty bad. That's not a crack. That's like adhesive. So this is fine. I just did that for no reason. But why is it... How... Now I'm just confused as to how these work. Is this not alcohol? Is the boiling point really this low? If I hold it up here, it's... But if I hold it down here... Really? What? Well, then why is this one not boiling yet? Is it because of the goo? I can get this one back in. It's covered in adhesive though, so it's difficult. I don't think I can get that one back in without taking some of this adhesive off, but I don't think I can. It's like some sort of epoxy almost, or super glue. I wonder if this is super glue. Maybe this came out before and someone glued it back in. That would make sense. Hey, it's got the same goo at the bottom. If I hold it at the very, very bottom, it doesn't boil. But if I hold it at the sides, does it? Someone explain this to me in the comments. Well, after a brief distraction, we are here on the desktop. We can expand that for sure. Let's go ahead and crank this up to 1280 by 1024. Perfect. I believe that is the absolute maximum that this monitor supports. It's quite old. Let's go ahead and get some drivers installed. As usual, we're using Snappy Driver Installer, running straight off the USB stick. We're just going to go ahead and select all, but notably it sees the GTX 580, sees the chipset, sees the sound card. Should be good to go. Now this will take a hot minute to complete, so as usual, I will be right back. And here we go. Everything's installed. We should be good to go, and most importantly of all, we have sound. I think it's time that we try a few games. And there we have it. Honestly, this machine absolutely crushes all the games that we'd be playing, so this is just perfect for her. Even in Railroad Tycoon 3 at the highest settings, we're still getting triple-digit frame rates. It does dip down to the low 100s, but occasionally we're seeing over 300 frames per second. I think that my wife is going to be very, very happy with this PC. And you know, I am too. I think this has worked pretty well. Especially after this upgrade. Ah, I should have just bought a new motherboard right from the get-go. I am still stepping on popcorn kernels. Alright, I've gotta end this video here. I need to clean this up. In the meantime, if you liked this video and you want to see more stuff like that, feel free to like and subscribe. I still feel cringy asking for that. I never expected this YouTube channel to take off like it has. But hey, you know, there's more where that came from. And I would also like to thank all of you who have joined my Patreon. Not just the paid members, but all members. There's all kinds of exclusive content behind the scenes over there if you'd like to check that out. The link is in the video description. And for the meantime, I'm going to vacuum these popcorn kernels up. And I think I'm just going to keep playing because I forgot how fun this game was. Thanks for watching.